How's it going, people? We are back again, back after the thriller in Seville. I call it los tres puntos más importantes de la temporada. You know, like it was the most important 3 points of the season. With Sevilla, who has been unbeaten at home all season long.
Muy importante.
I checked Google Translate.
No. I'm just replying it to you. Muy importante. Yeah, very important.
I was lacking confidence a bit, in my Spanish, but yeah, I think I did okay. But yeah, they were unbeaten at home all season. Their only undermining factor was they conceded too many draws. But in spite of all that, it was very interesting how it was set up. It was the matchup between the best away team in La Liga this season versus the best home team in La Liga this season. And what a matchup it was. Like, it was end to end, frenetic, like they say in Spanish, a broken pace at which the game was played out. What did you guys think? It was a game of 2 halves. So
for me, I think it was more like, in Spanish, there's a term called polémica. This was a polemica. This was a very controversial game. So because for me, like, for whatever the teams played, this game is always going to be marred by what the referee did. Because I was very disappointed in the referee's performance today. Personally, for me, that is the highlight of this game.
Actually, for me to counter,
this is how you invite death threats, hermano. Anyway, go on, Farooq.
Actually, for me, I will counter Mo's point. I think Mo was talking about the Vinicius' goal. For me, I'm actually quite content if the ref makes a decision on the field, not leaving it to the VAR. He went and he saw and he decided for himself that it's not a goal. So for me, I'm content with that. The issue I've always had is because they just say the goal is cancelled and they don't give the ref a chance. And the key point becomes this: the ref went and he saw it, and there's a thin line that tells us, okay, where the sleeves ends and when the hands begins. So I think it's from certain images, it felt like it didn't touch the sleeve. In certain images I saw, actually before we started the recording, we were speaking with Mo, for me, it felt like it was on the sleeve. So it was a very, very gray area for the ref to actually decide if it was a foul or not. You understand? So what I feel like, for me, I have no complaints, but my complaint will now become this. In the first half, there was a foul from Diego Carlos, a handball. How on earth wasn't that a handball? That's what I don't know. I don't know if you guys could remember that, when there was a corner and
there is no refereeing decision that I'm going to forget from this game. Okay, it's it was from the start to end. It was like a big a big fracas, if you could say, because first of all is the handball against Diego Carlos in the Sevilla box. Then there is even the Camavinga one, because I know as Madrid fans probably we felt lucky with that decision, but for me it was a second yellow, and then there's the entire second half where it's filled with a litany of errors. So for me, this is a game that is always going to be marked by the ref. And to what he said, for me, I felt that it hit Vinicius on the shoulder and maybe the upper portion of his arm. If you slow it down and look, frame by frame by frame, obviously you can make it look like as if it hit his shoulder, it hit his upper arm or something like that. But the thing is, that is the problem with technology sometimes, because when you slow it down too much, you can give off whatever image you want to give off. So, but I remember 2 seasons ago against the game against, I think it was Valencia, where Benzema scored a goal and it hit him in a similar region. That time, I think they clarified the fact that the sleeve region does not count. And I thought, my impression was this ball, it hit Vinicius on the shoulder and the very upper arm. So for me, it was a valid goal. But then, okay, I understand. I get your point. It's probably down to difference of interpretations of the image. But for me, it was a goal. It should have been a goal.
Okay, I was gonna something was actually on my mind. Actually, we discussed this also after the Chelsea game, whereby they scored from a non-existing corner, right? And then I just feel like Camavinga should be sent off 100%. Why isn't the VAR telling the ref that you missed a foul and that leads to a sending off?
I think the issue with that one was because the referee did not take a decision, the VAR cannot interfere.
But
if referee had given a decision,
because even a blind, okay, like the point is that the ref missed it. He's a human being and we're all human beings. But like on replay, you know that Kamavinga was million miles away from the ball. There is no way.
You said no, Farooq. Like you could say that it was 100% a foul, but like in my honest opinion, there might be cases whereby the referee fancies the defender, going in more physically than he's supposed to, just to let the game flow. I don't know. Like it has happened. Like have you not seen worse fouls not being given? Like this is.
I mean, even in this game, there were other fouls that were not given, right? Because there was a couple of fouls on Modric that were not called. So yeah, for me, but the goal one was like it was something that really caught my attention.
But of course, like we gave him 5 minutes already. Like we shouldn't give him so much spotlight for his horrendous decisions. But yeah, let's start with the lineup. Like, were you guys surprised by the lineup?
Honestly, I was not expecting he would start Camavinga, especially because if you guys read, I think in the Madrid press before the game, there was this like Carlo Ancelotti does not trust the maturity that Camavinga has to make tactical decisions in game. So I thought so. I was saying that he'd probably go with Rodrigo, but he went with Camavinga, and I should say that Camavinga sort of disappointed him. If what Madrid press reported was true, because Camavinga today, I thought like tactically he was a little bit. He made a little bit of rash decisions and stuff. So for me, that was a surprising point in the lineup.
No, like he's prone to making these hot-headed decisions, like most of the times. Like in my opinion, how like at least the Camavinga of this season, a very raw young prodigy. He is the most effective when he's coming off the bench.
But even like of late this season, Camavinga had like sort of ironed it out. Even in the previous podcast, we did talk about it. So, but the thing is, like today, again, under pressure, it came out.
But the situation is different. You are at the Sanchez Pizjuan. It's the atmosphere and how intensely Sevilla press, especially the first 30 minutes. Like you're under the cosh, and Camavinga cruise. And to be frank, even Modric found it very difficult. Like I was being very pessimistic. Like if you guys remember in the chat that feel can't.
I think we saw that Modric and especially Modric and Benzema, they were feeling the effects of playing 120 minutes against.
Exactly. It's not easy because you can actually even see when you even CT yesterday could literally not play like for almost 60 minutes because it takes a lot, and we played 120 minutes against Chelsea so it took a lot from the team. So, but then I think about the Camavinga thing, I was actually just wondering, like, because really, to be honest, the structure around him wasn't that very solid as well. So, to be honest, you can't actually just, evaluate his performance as an individual, considering the fact that, like Militao and Alaba, to be honest, I feel like they were all over the place for the first half an hour or so. I felt like, we always like underestimate Casemiro and like what he brings to the team, to be honest, in my opinion. So I think
that's a very valid point.
It also redemonstrated that like he's that. And to be honest, for me, I was just wondering like why did Militao run away from the free kick line? And he has the guts to even be complaining. And like I saw like Modric was like schooling him, and he was like complaining about something like, it's your job. You had one job, make a line, form a line, and you literally shifted and the ball passed through your line. And like, what are you talking about, man? I don't know.
Yeah, the first goal was a calamity. Like,
I think I was telling Suned, the first half, Militao, like he had a stinker in the first half, especially in the first 30 minutes.
He has some of those games in there. Like even Alaba does.
Definitely.
Our centre backs look sus more often than we like to admit, but we, just like the case it was today, we get saved by Benzema. Goal out of nothing. That's what happens. But the first goal, how it went in, like the shock, I think we still didn't recover from it, like which led to the eventual second goal, and we got overburdened by the press. Like the way
I think in the first goal, it was like first of all, it happened immediately after the Diego Carlos call. The thing is, like we were expecting it to be a penalty. It was not a penalty, and then suddenly we go to the other end, and then Modric commits a foul. So for me, initially, I was pretty angry at the fact that the ref even gave that Modric foul. I mean, it was legal; it was a foul. So, but the thing is, like when Diego Carlos got overlooked over that handball call, I was sort of angry, and seeing the referee give an opposite decision against us, it was like, frustrating. So I sort of understand what the players might have been going through. But I think it's like Militao was not there against Chelsea, and we, like in the last podcast, we all said that if Militao had been there, it would have been a different story. Like we would have a better performance. But then the first thing Militao does in this game is like, the first thing worth remembering Militao does in this game is like, creating a hole in the wall. So that was disappointing.
And moments later, he completely misjudged the flight of the ball. Like, it's basic stuff. I don't know how.
I mean, he was pretty weak. He let the ball go. I think that was a bad reading of the situation from him.
You should never let your opponent attacker like be goal side when you're trying to block off, the lane. Like, I don't know how he, lets Corona run all over him. Like, it's so uncharacteristic of a Madrid centre back, because over time we have seen how well our backline marshaled. Although our expectations are very low this time around this season, but even then, these are shocking moments like we can't afford to have, unfortunately.
I mean, I think Militao sometimes shows a lack of experience, because for whatever how highly we rate him, we have to understand that this is his first full season as a Real Madrid center back, starting Real Madrid center back. So I sort of this season understand some of the mistakes he makes, but the thing is, like, he can't keep doing this, in seasons to come.
Yeah, but then there was the moment also, like, where was like Carvajal with Lamela? Like, Lamela literally just came from no man's land, and like Carvajal was nowhere to be found as well. I feel like that was also something, it was like giving the Marcelo vibes.
Having a stinker, but albeit not at the levels of Militao. But even then,
Carvajal was playing like he was playing a position that he's not used to. So sometimes, and the thing is, like, I think even offensively, he was not getting his. Let's say he was not getting on the same wavelength as Vinicius.
He got so frustrated at one point in the game that he decided to shoot with his left. You saw that, right? Like, he was fuck it, he must shoot.
Yeah, but still, that doesn't excuse his maybe absence on defense. But the thing is, like, for me, more than I would blame Carvajal, I would blame the others towards that thing. But because especially Militao, because Militao, he goes and then sort of gives up when Corona is still challenging for the ball. So for me, that was something that was inexcusable.
Yeah, Carvajal was definitely short-handed by Carlo, and of course the lack in depth that we have, obvious lack in depth. Maybe not so much when you bring Rafa into the scheme of things, but that's a whole another episode in itself.
I mean, the funny thing is, like, this game we were missing like 3 left backs, and like Miguel is injured, Mendy is injured, and Marcelo is injured. But I do not understand for the life of me why Nacho did not start, because I think Nacho should have started. So probably Carlo Ancelotti owes us an explanation why Nacho did not start.
Black magic is very, very thick for these two guys. The bald guy in Zidane, and this full, luscious gray hair, man from Italy. He has his fair share of the dark arts going on. I can't fathom how we get away with these kind of decisions.
If I'm not mistaken, but like, wasn't like Nacho kind of injured or something like that?
I mean, Nacho came on in the from what we are told, like, Nacho had a cramp in the last game, but he had recovered sufficiently. So unless there was something that we do not know, maybe there's an injury, something that Carlo Ancelotti needs to explain in the press conference. For me, it's a question why he did not start.
I think the only thing I can assume is rotation. I think there's nothing to explain that. I think it's just pure rotation. You have to keep the players.
I mean, you do not rotate against Sevilla, right?
No, of course, definitely you can. The point is, even if you lose in my calculation, we lose against Sevilla and Atletico Madrid.
Wait, Father, but what makes you think suddenly Carlo decided to wake up and
rotate? The point is, you have Mendy missing, and you don't know when Mendy is gonna come back. Your best option against Man City becomes to play Nacho. And then you don't want to play him today, and then he re-aggravates his cramp, and then it's all gone. No Mendy, no Nacho, and then you have to start scrambling for whatever.
But the reports are like Mendy might return for the first leg.
That's what I'm saying. It's a maybe. We don't know yet. You understand? So just the point is, you just have to keep the thing there. For example, you can also see, like, even Man City didn't play De Bruyne yesterday. Like, they were like, and he was on the bench, and he was even warming up. But the point is, you have to play the long goal. The long game, and see eventually what happens in the future. So I think that might be a bit understandable, actually.
Just to make a segue, I think Carlo Ancelotti just came out in the press conference and said that the referee had a plan for the game, And if he had shown Camavinga a red card, his plan would have been complete. So and even I think Emilio Butragueño, he came out and said that the Vinicius decision is never a handball. So I think there's a lot of frustration from Real Madrid side over decisions, because if you guys remember, I don't know if it was the last podcast, it was the one before, I told you that these decisions going against Real Madrid it's not just against the first team. It has been there against the under-19s, has been there against Castilla. So there's a lot of frustration at Real Madrid against, let's say, RFEF, because in the Spanish Federation, because of the way these referees have been performing against Real Madrid, especially.
In my opinion, LASIK surgery, laser eye treatment has been.
That's the first thing I tweeted after that. I said the referee needs to be sent to the eye doctor because he needs the eyes examined.
Has been prominent, in prominent use for decades now. These guys should be pushed into those centers and made to reconsider. But anyhow, we were on the back foot come 30 minutes, and then somehow we slowly started to wrestle back control, especially in midfield. I think it's I think that was a combination of alarm bells going off and also Sevilla getting tired after the initial flurry. But going in at halftime, if you think from the perspective of Carlo Ancelotti, what must have he told his players that they came out looking like a completely different team from head to toe? Like, they looked completely different. I think they took some kind of shots in there, to revitalize their whole. They looked sharp on the ball, off the ball.
Maybe he asked them if they were still playing for Lopetegui or something.
Yeah, maybe a question of loyalty and faith in these trying times would have been the perfect solution. But
I have to give credit to Ancelotti, because the last time I sort of I was hesitant, but the thing is, you have to give credit to Ancelotti because he recognized the fact that he was maybe wrong in not playing Rodrigo, and he immediately made a change at halftime. He took off Camavinga, brings on Rodrigo, and I think that changed the game completely.
Rodrigo, Farouk, in your opinion, how good is he? Is he underrated or overrated?
I think he's underrated between the Madridistas, I think, to be honest. And I think, as Mo just rightly pointed out, I think that's the difference. For me, it was the same tactics, but just different personnel. And you had the right personnel to execute the plan. And that was just it. That, Rodrigo shifting to the wing and Valverde dropping down to the midfield, I think that was just the thing. That was the thing. And to be honest, I think you actually pointed something out in the group, and you said, he does the simple things perfectly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I feel that's the key thing.
He doesn't have the the insta game of Vinicius.
Exactly, yeah. He doesn't raise the stadiums up with his moves and all that. But he's decisive. His decision making, it's spot on. The movements on, because you can understand. The thing is for the goal he scored at first, it's not the movement. It's something that you need to know. Okay, this is someone who's actually very intelligent.
Making a darting run inside the box.
Exactly, it's very intelligent. You have to be very intelligent to be able to understand. Okay, the center forward has evaded the space. Now you have to run in diagonally and get just hope that something comes across and you can nick it in. Really,
and the angle was completely against him. He's facing.
Definitely. Yeah. So I feel like to be honest, we do underrate him a lot, and also I think Carlo doesn't understand fully yet. I think, because to be honest, I was expecting him to start today, after his exploit against Chelsea, but to see him on the bench.
I think it's down to energy management. Rodrigo, there are games where we might need Rodrigo's energy during the first 30 minutes and the first half, but this time I think it was wise. I don't know if it was happenstance or it just panned out perfectly for him, but Rodrigo was a bundle of energy down the right. He completely changed the game.
The thing is, I understand, just to add to what Farouk was saying, with Vinicius, it's we know he has this, something extra, that's something special to do stuff that nobody expects. But then, for as long as Rodrigo has been here at Real Madrid, everybody has known that his decision making is it leaps beyond what Vinicius has, especially in the box, his calmness and everything. So for me, the biggest issue with Rodrigo so far has been the fact that I think sometimes he doesn't make the runs that gets him into the goal scoring positions. But the thing is, even if he makes runs, he's often making runs that mirror Benzema, and I want him to make runs that complement Benzema. But for the last 2 games that we have seen against Chelsea and even today, it's like the fact is like if Benzema is peeling away, Rodrigo is attacking the goal. So I think that has been the biggest change between him. But then when we think of today's game, the thing is, yes, Rodrigo changed the game. But another thing that we have to accept is like Sevilla changed the strategy going into the second half because they started sitting back.
Yeah.
And because we were tired, and when Sevilla pressed us, we were not able to control the game. But once Sevilla started sitting back and they gave us space to play, I think Real Madrid, the thing is like you should never give Real Madrid space to play. Once you start giving Real Madrid space to play, the game is like over. So I think that was a mistake that Sevilla made. And that totally changed the game.
I told you in the chat, like a bit after we went 2-0 down, like we need to somehow score 2 goals and get out. Like eventually they'll get tired, and that's what exactly happened. I was pretty sure they can't sustain it for the whole 90 minutes. But yeah, Rodrigo comes on, scores a brilliant goal. Carvajal, man, redemption arc, That was some sort of a redemption arc from his first half, where he looked like a shadow of himself, although he was put under those circumstances by Carlo. But the ball was on a plate, right? For Rodrigo.
I mean, Carvajal is a warrior. You should never count him out. The thing is, like this guy, he stepped up. Needed the most.
From time to time, we all forget what he brings, right? Like sometimes when you see his terrible passing out of the back, we often forget how good he is. But yeah, big ups to him, man. Like he was crucial for the first goal. And then we pressed. There was a couple of half chances. There was a brilliant ball, I think, which was put in by Benzema, and Rodrigo was trying to get to it, but he couldn't. A few moments after that, but then the whole handball thing happened, and yeah, people were pissed. We were pissed, like.
I mean, Benzema missed quite a few good chances, right?
Yeah, exactly. He missed one in the first half, which was like marginally offside. I felt if it had gone to VAR, it could have been 50-50 with the millimeters and centimeters of lines they drew. And just at the beginning of the second half, there was a good ball from Modric, if I'm not mistaken. And he really missed wow.
And even the one after the first goal, I think it was Rodrigo who sort of squared the ball to him, played it back to him, and he took a good shot, but then it just went wide. So if we are evaluating Benzema's performance today, I know he scored the goal at the end, and I said Benzema is the good, but the thing is I think he had an off game by his standards today.
Definitely.
And just as I said before,
you got to give him some leeway.
I think Benzema was not 100%. Honestly, that's my feeling.
He wasn't. We all knew that he was never going to be 100%. After the Champions League game. But yeah, I think the ref's decision to not give that goal, I think that spurred us on. We looked extra motivated. Big ups to the players again. And then we grew on, from that point in the game, and we started to assert total dominance in field. And I've never seen Cruz be so comfortable, in a few weeks now. He was really good. I think he has been reading that I've been chatting shit, but anyhow, man, he was again very instrumental in how we bet the press.
I think the thing is when you play Cruz as as your defensive midfielder, the thing is you cannot let others have the ball, because if you let others have the ball, you need a defensive midfielder who has physicality. And honestly, Cruz is not that kind of a player. He's not a very physical player, but he's more like a pass first player. So I think once you're playing with Cruz as your defensive midfielder, your tactics should be geared towards maintaining possession. And I think that was something that we used to do under Zidane with possession, and but under Ancelotti, this team it's been a lot more vertical, less on possession and quick transitions. So I think that is something that quite often exposes Cruz, but I think it doesn't suit him the best. But in the second half, Sevilla sat back. We got a lot of possession, and the best of Cruz came out.
Talk us through the second goal, Farouk. How good was it?
Actually, so I was gonna ask you guys, there was this moment with Carvajal fouling. I'm not sure, was it Oliver Torres? I think there was this non-existent foul. So what did you guys think about that? Was that a foul, or was it just a player diving or something like that?
I need to see it. I need to see it carefully.
He's a whiny player. He whines a lot.
Actually, because what I felt was given what's at stake, to be honest, I feel like it was the most minimal of contacts, and it's a fucking contact sport. You shouldn't tumble over for this. And like, given what's at stake, like you're literally on the edge of your 18. I feel like that should be a non-existent thing, because like it's almost.
Even bro, Oliver Torres is Bruno Fernandes light. We all know it, like he just very whiny.
I mean, the ref sort of like discussed with VAR that one, so he didn't even go to the monitor. So I'm
Exactly.
assuming
Yeah. Anyways, like
assuming,
so. Yeah, like Carvajal got the ball at the edge of the 18, and he just went past Oliver Torres, and already like I think it was Ocampos. Ocampos had already gone, because he assumes that Oliver Torres was gonna get.
I think it was Augustinsson, not Ocampos.
I'm sorry.
It was Augustinsson.
It was
Augustinsson. I'm not sure.
Ocampos.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Augustinsson went off. After that, the goal happened.
Yeah,
Augustinsson
exactly.
came on in the second half.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Augustinsson came on in the second half. Ocampos also came on in the second half.
Yeah,
Both of them
Ocampos
came
also
on.
came on in the second half. I'm not actually sure, like, to be honest, who it was. So he just like he had already gone, assuming that Oliver Torres was gonna get to the ball, and then he decided to just dive into his garbage scene. Anyway, so he just went through, and it was Carvalho just had tons of space and time to it was now the choice of just pick your poison.
Perfect
pass.
Exactly,
It was because like he had like 3-4 people he could have picked, so it was just pick your poison and just deliver the dose, and it was just like
and the guy he trusts is his Madridista teammate in Nacho. I think these guys have been playing together since
actually in the season we won the title in the Champions League as well. If you guys could recall, like Nacho scored this free kick where the ref hadn't actually blown the whistle yet.
Against Sevilla.
Actually, it was at the same stadium actually as well. So it was quite interesting.
And I think the passion was there, especially because of the Vinicius goal rule.
Exactly. I was gonna say, like, how ironic that that
he was given a yellow, right?
Exactly, he got a yellow before even he came on. You understand? So I think it was just quite ironic that that he got the equalizer eventually. And actually, I did love the fact that Alaba came on and he was like, guys, we're not celebrating. We need to get the winner.
Because man, oh my god, that was such an underrated comment right there. I saw that in the last part of the replay or something. Like he was like, let's get back.
Let's get back there. We need to get the That's actually because the guy has won in the last 9 seasons. He's won 9 championships, man. He has the winning mentality. Like when you talk about
those 9 championships, they get them by default.
Whatever, man. It doesn't really matter even if it gets handed to you every year, man. Like, at
but
least
I agree. He has that mentality.
Exactly. That's the thing, He brought that not to shit on the others as well. Like these guys also have won tons of shit, so they also.
But Nacho man, like, isn't it the umpteenth time this guy comes off with the decisive, touch of the game? Like he has that.
Sometimes with Nacho, you're like, oh man, this guy is so shit, don't play him again. And then the next guy is like, oh man, this guy is so important. He's doing such important things.
I've never said Nacho shit.
No, I think you. It's like the general perception.
Yeah, I think the thing Mo is trying to say here is this: like, I don't think like it's like about Nacho being shit. It's the fact that, to be honest, I feel like always Nacho gives what he can give, but it's just that sometimes it's not enough at this level.
Yeah,
I feel that's just the thing, like, and then but it is what it is, man. Like, you just need to have.
He has a few very evident,
weaknesses.
Weaknesses, exactly.
His first touch at times is horrific, but when he pulls it off, it looks amazing. And tonight was yet another showcase of what Nacho does to the squad. But moving on, Carvalho again, another goal, another assist. Like he again, like tried to bring us that old Danny from the three-peat era. It's so satisfying to watch, like, because he has been through some very shitty moments in his career, especially as of late. But game tied at 2-2. Sevilla, I think, tried to get back a little more momentum after the second goal went in. I think they were shell shocked. They didn't expect us to come back from 2-0 down, especially after a multitude of things went against us. But then,
because the referee was on their team, they thought it's 12 against 11. How can they win it?
Yeah, for sure. But then the third goal happens, and again it's those three involved in the build-up. Vinicius again turning away, putting Rodrigo wide, and Rodrigo can't get back for Benzema to finish. We have seen that a lot this time. This season.
I think the thing is like it just goes to show you can never count Benzema. Even as bad as a game he has, he knows somehow, somewhere he'll score. So the thing is like this was like a pure, a poacher's goal because he gets into position, he knows how to dribble in the box. Because I'll be honest, like I think it was Mesut Ozil who said this like in an interview with Arsenal TV, and he said like, who is the best dribbler you've seen? Like who's the best dribbler in the box? Who's the best player with the ball at his feet inside the box? And he said Karim Benzema. There's no doubt about that. So I think today we saw that because this guy knows how to get away from defenders inside the box. Most people do not have that, composure to pull it off. But then this guy has, and then he scores. So I think Benzema with this goal, he's just inching closer towards his first Ballon d'Or, because like this Ballon d'Or is. I can't see how anybody takes it away from him. Nobody.
Let's not jinx it, bro. Let's calm it down with all the Ballon d'Or talk. Like
there's nobody who's even.
It's a World Cup year, man. It's a World Cup year. It's a World Cup year. You guys should not forget that.
The Ballon d'Or does not cover the World Cup. The Ballon d'Or is going to be only for the season.
Even then, okay, bro. Let's just chillax and wait until we get the hands on at least La Liga and then hopefully the Champions League.
I mean, irrespective of what the team results are, I think Benzema has been the best player in Europe at least.
But you know how it pans out usually, right? It titles have some weight. Of course they do. So
actually, I don't know. I just feel like, to be honest, because the thing is this, like these things have been voted for journalists and all these things. And to be honest, like half of the journalists don't watch Spanish La Liga. That's just the truth, whether we like it or not. They watch more English Premier League, and the point is that they're gonna be so biased about this. It's gonna be so.
I mean, if you consider that fact, then you have to also consider the fact that I don't remember the last player from the Premier League who won the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, that's why they're so butthurt and trying to shoehorn in anybody, even fucking Jorginho. I love the guy, but yeah, he was good last season. But top 3 in Ballon d'Or. Like, are you fucking joking? But
I mean, but with the Champions League performance that Karim has had this season, I think it's going to be difficult to take it.
Yeah, to be honest, but I just feel like this, I just fear that if Liverpool wins the Champions League, they're going to crown one of the Liverpool players, I think.
I think for me personally, a lot of people are like, if you ask somebody who are the best person in Ballon d'Or, it's like Benzema, Mbappe, Lewandowski. But I think for me personally, it's something like Benzema and Sadio Mane. I think Mane is the one who's
that's why I said like I didn't name a person. I said like they might count someone from, because the point is like
Mane, you know how Mane is, right? Like Mane is not.
Mane won the AFCON. He took Senegal to the
World Cup. So considering these things as well, they might. And actually, Mane.
I mean, Mo Salah has been pretty poor, right? He's like 2-0 penalties.
As of late, yeah. So. I know, but the fetish they have for the Salah guy. Anyhow, I just hope we put the titles on the table and then talk. Like, it's not time yet. Like, I know we all want it to happen. But
I think it's like Real Madrid need I think 10 more points to win the title now. It's like
I think La Liga is there. I think we've won La Liga, to be honest. I just feel like because I feel like, as you guys said, like this was the most important 3 points, and I feel like getting this actually literally just like crowns us as like unofficial champions, just waiting for the day.
I'll just say this: the fact is, like, I think we're still, although on the table we're 15 points behind Barcelona, but the thing is, like, Barcelona has 2 games in hand, so most likely will only be 9 points ahead. Barcelona, the maximum they can get to is 84, and we are like, and if they get to 84 and we also get to 84, the thing is they are ahead of us on head-to-head, so we have to get 85.
But so my point is I think it remains 7 games, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I think 6, right?
Okay.
I'm not sure.
I think we have 6 or 7 games, and like
I think we're still to face Atleti and
Betis. How many games?
Those 6 games.
So the point is we've lost 3 games all season across 32 games. Are you telling me now we're just going to lose?
No. I'm not telling you. I agree. I totally agree with you. But the thing is, like, I think it's a little bit premature to say that we have one hand on the title.
One hand on the title. But Farooq, listen to me, right? I'm going to read out the remaining fixtures.
Okay, let me just tell you the things. We have Osasuna, which is like historically difficult for us, right? And then we have Atletico Madrid and Betis on the last day. Okay? So even a draw at Osasuna and we lose both at Betis and Atletico, we're still ahead of Barcelona with the 9-point gap that we currently have.
I hope that pans out that way, but in my opinion, a team of
I don't
our
know.
stats.
Like, I feel like maybe you guys are so like negative about this things, or you guys on the
It's not
radar.
negative.
Maybe I
So
am being a negative Nelly, but the thing is, like, also Osasuna just beat Valencia, like in this, like, yeah, it was yesterday. I think.
That's what I just said to you now. I said we draw with Osasuna at their home on Tuesday or Wednesday.
I mean, I inside I feel Real Madrid is going to win the title, but the thing is, like, I just want to be careful before I say anything.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
That's my same thought. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Game by game, the moment of the season that we are in, it's just game by game. Don't look at the fucking table. Don't look at anybody's results. It's just us against the world.
Man, we built a 9-point lead. What's the point of building a 9-point?
No. I'm just telling you. Just eyes on the prize, and then just.
I think 2 games that are going to be key, apart from the ones you mentioned, is the one against Levante, because I think Jose Morales is like, he's gone on to another level. This guy, he's just like, he's gone mad. I think today Levante is like 4-1 against Granada, and another one is like the one against Espanyol, because Espanyol today I think almost gave a game to Atleti. So I think these 2 games also we have to be careful, and we have to remember the fact that in the first half of the season we drew with Levante and we lost to Espanyol. So it's like we have to be careful. We have to be careful.
Actually, my fear becomes this. Actually, to be honest, I fear that in the game against Espanyol, because it's sandwiched between the 2 Champions League legs. Like, if let's say, for example, we go to England and like we lose in England, like marginally lose like a 2-1 or a 1-0, or like even a 2-0, like we might have to put all our eggs in the basket of playing the second leg at home, and then because of that, the players will like be not focused on the game against Espanyol, and anything can happen.
I hope it will be heavily rotated. Like, apart from maybe Benzema, Casemiro, and.
Well, then that's my point. Like, if you do that, and as we know, to be honest, like in Real Madrid, we only have like 13 players, and the others are just whatever they are. So
by standards, I know.
So like, if we do that, and then you start to lose against Espanyol again, and then after City you place Atletico, and then.
But then you're the one being cocky about.
No,
I think the good thing for
Mo said something, and I'm just adding things on it. To be honest, that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, this is my thing. This is my view. Okay. I feel like we have 2 banana skins left: Betis and Atletico Madrid, and then Osasuna, because it's like historical difficult for us, So if we go there and draw, and we lose against Atleti and also against Betis, we're still champions. But then we have to consider the fact that maybe we have some rotations against Espanyol, and shit can happen there. Just to add on most points. So this is just the thing.
I think the good thing for us is the fact that there's no game on the weekend before the City game, because I think it's
that's just give us an advantage of resting. Yeah, that gives us an
advantage. That's an advantage for us,
right?
Yeah. And I think it'll be interesting to see how Carlo Ancelotti lines up for the Osasuna game, because let's be honest, like, they are one of the weaker opponents to face. So it will be interesting, because I think Benzema has been overworked. So I wonder if he goes with Gareth Bale.
Nah, why? Because there's a 6-day break. Like, Benzema should play. Like, these guys are like professional athletes.
I mean, Benzema's half dead already.
Nah, man, they have a 6-day break, man. After the Osasuna game, man, they can rest enough to regain whatever they need to regain.
In my opinion, like, he shouldn't rotate much. He should use the rotations and save it for Espanyol, but for Osasuna,
that's it. Yeah, for Osasuna, just go full in.
Yeah,
I mean, personally, I don't think Modric is going to start against Osasuna. That's my. I think it's probably going to be Valverde, Cruz, and Casemiro.
Like, I hope he does come off the bench, because I need those guys who's going to do a job over at the Etihad next week to be, in some sort of match rhythm and sharpness. And I think that'll be also his motive.
Okay, let me actually ask you guys this. So actually, the other day I was listening to a podcast. It's this Premier League podcasting. So
come on, man, you're not listening to our podcast and you're listening to Premier League podcasts.
So actually,
this guy's a traitor.
They were asking Ian Wright this question. They were like, okay, would you prefer to have a rest before you go into a tough game? Or will, like, for example, they were actually discussing the City-Liverpool game, the FA Cup. So, like, Liverpool had like the Benfica game where they like rested about 6-7 players, and like City literally had to fight both physically, mentally, spiritually to actually get to the next round. You understand? So they were like, which one would you prefer, like, to be rested?
I like that image of City fighting spiritually. They sit and pray.
Would you prefer to be rested, or would you prefer to be like in that battle mindset? So, like, which one would you guys prefer, like, for our players going into the City game? Like, would you prefer them to be rested or to be in the mindset of the battle, sees, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think personally, even if we rest them, they're still going to be in the mindset of the battle, because they have played a lot of games already. especially players like Benzema, Vinicius, and Courtois. They've barely had any rest, and even Modric. So for me, I think it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't make much of a difference not playing a week. But
the whole week off should be easy work, light work. I think.
I think even if Carlo Ancelotti decides to have the one I was going for, like Valverde, Casemiro, and Cruz, the thing is, it's like more than 90% sure that at some point in the second half he brings on Modric. So I think even if he benches Benzema, at some point in time he's going to introduce Benzema. So
man, he's not going to bench Benzema, man. Stop saying that. How is he?
Yeah,
I don't expect him to bench Benzema, but I do expect him to bench Modric for this one.
Yeah. Another thriller.
Just to add, can you guys guess why Jovic missed this game?
Sorry, why? Who?
Luka Jovic. He wasn't even in the squad sheet, if you guys remember.
Oh,
it was because he had a wisdom tooth removed, so that's why he was missing this game. So I don't know. And this guy's career at Real Madrid is like, if it wasn't my team, I would probably be laughing at it.
The less we talk, the better we feel. I just try to distance myself from all those kind of negativity as much as I can.
I actually didn't even know that he wasn't even on the bench, to be honest. I didn't even know.
Me neither.
And I think this guy's totally detached from the team. Even when you see the celebrations, he's just like an outsider. We won.
I don't know why that happened. Same happened with Bale, but
speaking of Gareth Bale, didn't I see Gareth Bale warming up in wearing his trousers and all this thing? I saw him he was about to come
even
on.
I was thinking that he's probably going to come on, but I don't know what happened. It was Marco Asensio came on eventually. So
well, Carlos' substitutions was top notch tonight.
Definitely.
That completely bailed him out, and this is a statement win, right? At Sanchez Pizjuan, where they have been unbeaten all season. The fight we showed, the mentality the lads showed, it was brilliant. This should give us some sort of a lift, even after that first half. And
even the manner, especially the manner of the victory, the way we came back. I think that this is a statement victory, and it stands us in good stead. In the upcoming matches. Hopefully, long before we get to the Betis game, we have the title wrapped up. I hope this does it good.
I wanted to discuss a bit about City, but I think we should save it until after the Osasuna game. But for now, who was your man of the match? Hoke.
I think probably I'd go with Rodrigo.
Off the bench in the game.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
100% Rodrigo, no doubt about that.
Rodrigo.
For me, only doubt in my mind was should I give credit to Carvajal, because he was also pretty good in the second half. But then the thing is sorry?
He is my man of the match, Danny.
Oh, Carvajal is your man of the match? Oh, that's fair then. Officially, I think it was Rodrigo who got the man of the match from La Liga.
Yeah, he deserved it. This is a special nominee for the fight and determination he showed to turn that shocking first 45 around.
Yeah, we call him warrior of the match.
Sorry?
We'll call him warrior of the match.
Warrior of the match.
Okay, you can. I wouldn't entertain such things like that, but you could call.
Before we go, actually, I was wondering if I could ask you guys a question, especially more given the last episode you were like all Carlo out. Okay, so the thing is this. So United now has gotten most likely Erik ten Hag, and Pochettino is there, and he recently just moved into, I don't know if you know, Poch at Paris was actually living in a hotel for about almost a year. He recently just moved into an apartment, actually.
Please don't ask me who the replacement is going to be if Carlo Ancelotti. I don't know.
No, I'm just asking you, why, would you, if you were Perez now, would you, approach Poch to, replace Ancelotti at the end of the season?
I think, honestly, the thing is, there are contacts between Pochettino and Real Madrid, because, I don't know if you guys read about it, but the thing is, the reason why United went in favor of Erik ten Hag is because they were scared that if they went for Pochettino, Real Madrid were gonna, come in and sneak him in the last minute. That was one of the reasons why they went for Erik ten Hag. That, and especially the fact that he had a low release clause, whereas getting Pochettino out of PSG would have been expensive.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, from the way I see it, I think Real Madrid are always in contacts with managers around the world to see who could come. I think Nagelsmann is not having a good time at Bayern, but given the fallout that he has had, it's probably not a good sign. I don't know whoever comes in at Chelsea, what they decide to do with Thomas Tuchel. So we don't really know what the managerial situation would be in the summer. And then at Real Madrid, there's also like, internal candidates like Raul or maybe even Xabi Alonso's contract.
Okay, chill. You're going too deep. It's just a simple question. Would you want?
I just tell you, this time is.
That's what I'm saying. You're giving too much insight. We're not asking for the details of the insight. We're just asking.
In my opinion too, man. Like Farouk, in my opinion as well. If I was,
just to complete my point, the thing is like Xabi Alonso's contract at Sociedad is ending, so he could also be an option.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's what I was alluding to. Like, if I was Flo Perez, like I wouldn't be approaching anyone as of now. Yes, it has been shambolic, but you never know, man. Like if we manage to do the unthinkable of the double, right? Carlo will stay here, irrelevant of what happens. In my opinion, he will. Like, he'll be warranted that role. He'll be given that role to be head coach next season. But
for me, the way I see it, if Carlo Ancelotti stays through the summer, it will be interesting to see how things go, line up performance-wise, because for him, especially given how everything has happened, especially in the second half of the season, the performance in the first half of the season is going to define if Carlo Ancelotti lost the entirety of the second season, because I have my doubts personally.
So you think even if he does the double, he'll be sacked?
No, I don't think obviously if he does the double, if he wins the Champions League, there's no way he's getting sacked. Although Real Madrid do have a history of sacking managers even after winning the league title. Even after winning the Champions League. Sorry?
Vicente Del Bosque, right? Which was a long time.
No. I think it's been Del Bosque. It has been Capello. Jupp Heynckes was sacked after winning the Champions League. So it's not like winning a title is a guarantee that you stay on at Real Madrid. But the thing is, if he does double, obviously he's going to stay on. But after that, especially when we get Mbappe and how things, if we get Mbappe, I shouldn't be saying that we will get Mbappe for certain, but if we get Mbappe and depending how performances are, especially from a tactical standpoint, if things do not change, I think Carlo Ancelotti is going to be in trouble.
I think it's still too early to be even thinking about any of this.
It's definitely.
My mind never goes through these kind of concoctions anymore because this is business end of the season. I just have City in my eyes at the moment. But yeah, that's.
But you should have Osasuna in your eyes. Huh? When Tuchel did an interview after the game, he said somebody asked him, how are you going to change things for the second leg? And he said, before the second leg, we have Southampton. That is more important. So for us, Osasuna is more important right now.
So you wanna listen to Tap in Tuchel now, eh?
Okay. I think Thomas Tuchel is one of the best minds in football right now. So
actually, to be honest, I think personally, from a tactical point of view, I think he's the most flexible coach in the world football right now. Like because the thing is that I have watched a lot of him, and even actually
he comes off as a whiny MF, like in my opinion, bro. Like the post-match conference he gave, referees always side with Real Madrid. Like, what is that supposed to mean? You don't come out after that kind of.
I'm sorry, but what do you want him to say? Literally,
he shouldn't say such things like that.
What did Mo just say right now? Didn't Mo just tell us, like Carlos said, if he had given Camavinga the red card, his job would have been done, or his plan would have been complete. This is what they say. People defend their things,
my manager, bro. Carlo is my manager.
For me, the biggest issue with Tuchel is the fact that he always fights with the management, because
that's the issue.
He left Dortmund, he left at Mainz.
In my opinion, again, anyways, I have my reservations about Tuchel, but I guess we should call it a wrap, boys. So until next time, tonight was another demonstration of why we are champions elect in Spain. And the job is half done, boys. I hope the team, manages to do it and see it out all the way through. So until next time, Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.